Here's a hoodie and a $50 gift card, she said, smiling like she was doing charity, not delivering humiliation. The conference room answered with that thin, polite laughter, the kind people use when power has flattened dignity and nobody wants to be next. I'd taken that product line from a whiteboard doodle to a $40 million valuation. And now my wife's sister, my sister-in-law, the CEO, was tossing me out like a disposable temp. The termination papers slid across the glass table. We decided to part ways, she announced, her tone sweet as cyanide. Oh, and your bonus is under review. I didn't flinch or argue. I folded the hoodie carefully, nodded once, and said, "Thank you for the opportunity." She probably thought she'd broken me. As I walked out, I was already rewriting the ending in my head. When I joined the company, it hadn't been about cash. It was family. Claire had the title. I had the vision. She pitched, I built. We turned a shaky startup into something investors noticed. They started calling me the ghost founder, the quiet architect behind the big moves. Claire bragged I was her secret weapon. I believed in loyalty, in family. Then Series A hit and valuations climbed and everything changed. Suddenly I was operation support. My name disappeared from patent filings. My role was restructured. I told myself it was fine. Family was worth swallowing pride for. That was mistake one. Mistake two came when I found an internal memo. I was finalizing a supply chain doc and noticed my login no longer had edit access. Curious, I checked permissions. My name had been replaced by a new VP of operations. No announcement, no warning, just deleted. Later that week, I overheard Claire in the boardroom laughing with the CFO. He's too nice to make noise. We'll cut him out clean before the bonus hits. Optics will be fine. Something inside me changed, not rage, not grief, but sharp clarity. I didn't confront. I planned. Here's the thing about building systems. You know where every wire runs. If you built the walls, you know exactly where to place the charge. Step one, I quietly copied every project schema, patent draft, and architecture file I personally authored. The metadata still carried my name, timestamps, commits. Step two, I reviewed the Series B prep deck and noticed they'd inflated user metrics by merging beta testers into active users. Clever illusion, illegal to present to investors. Step three, I reached out to lead investor's assistant and politely requested a one-on-one technical follow-up. They trusted me. I'd been on those calls before. Step four, I transferred my own IP code modules and designed patents to a holding LLC I'd set up 6 months earlier. The company kept using them under license. Nobody noticed. They rarely do when you move quietly. Step five, I waited for the Series B meeting, the one that would decide the company's fate, and then I lit the fuse. The meeting was in the downtown Weathers building. Glass walls, espresso bar, a dozen investors on the panel. I'd been invited as a courtesy because Claire still needed me to explain the platform's backbone. She was radiant in a tailored navy suit, calm, rehearsed, confident enough to admire. She opened with, "We've grown threefold since Series A. Our retention is exceptional. Our core IP." Rowan, the lead investor, a silver-haired man, cut in. "Before we move forward, we did a technical audit. Something came up." The room stiffened. Claire blinked. "Oh, I wasn't aware of—" Rowan pulled out a folder. My folder. Inside, her termination memo, bonus dispute notes, and the IP licensing contracts I'd shifted to my LLC. "According to this," he said, tapping the file, "your core product, the asset this valuation depends on, is owned by an outside entity, not your corporation." Silence. Rowan looked at me. "That entity is yours, correct?" I nodded. "Yes, sir. I developed it independently before joining. The company used it under an informal license which expired 30 days ago." Claire's face went white. "That's absurd," she stammered. Rowan raised a hand. "What's absurd is firing your only technical founder and breaching IP ownership laws in your Series B filings." The air charged. Investors shifted, past notes. Then Rowan slid the folder back to her and said the line I'd been waiting for. "Congratulations, Miss Archer. You just lost your company." Her voice trembled. You can't do this. We had a contract. I leaned back, calm. Actually, we didn't. You canceled it when you fired me. Every eye fixed on her. She tried to pivot, rambling about misunderstandings, family disputes. But the investors had already started whispering about due diligence, legal exposure, liability. One by one, they excused themselves. Within 10 minutes, she was left alone in a glass box. CEO of nothing. As I rose to leave, she grabbed my arm. You planned this. I looked at her without anger, just clarity. I built this on trust. You build it on ego. Trust collapses quietly. Ego collapses publicly. Then I walked out. A week later, the company's assets were frozen, and investors pulled out. My LLC was acquired by a firm that valued work over politics. I walked away with my code, my ideas, and unexpectedly my peace. Claire texted once. You destroyed everything. I hope it was worth it. I stared at it, then replied, it wasn't destruction. It was correction. Now, when people ask why I'm so quiet in meetings, I just smile. Silence isn't weakness. It's the sound of building the next empire, while the old one burned behind you. Sometimes the best revenge isn't fury, it's precision. They handed me a hoodie and a $50 card. I handed them a mirror and made them watch their empire collapse.